Hello everybody and welcome to Toyah at Home. I hope you're able to enjoy this heat rather than just be enduring it. Now, it's pretty noisy in this house at the moment. Within 6 feet of me on the other side of the kitchen wall, we're having offices, archive and a studio being built, a link-up studio so that we can broadcast around the world. And we have the most incredible team of construction workers and builders. They're incredibly young. They all produce music in their spare time and they're full of fun and laughter. So it's a pretty noisy time out there. You're going to be hearing drilling, hammering, stonemasons chipping away, and they'll be just laughing their heads off. It's been a fantastic week. The Posh Pop 3, which is Fripp, myself and Simon Darlow, have actually been the Posh Pop 4 this week because we've been working with Trevor Horn, who's become slightly intrigued with the album Posh Pop and has invited us to be part of his new recording project, which is a project for Germany. And I'm really very excited by it. To be working with someone of Trevor Horn's status and legendary status has just been amazing. And I have to say that both Simon Darlow and myself, it was like we were taking our A+ again. We were just so scared in the studio, and slowly we managed to just relax into this, for me, very special and historic event to be able to be singing with a Trevor Horn production. And it's been great, really good. So it's busy, getting ready for the Anthem tour, doing the set list. I think you're going to be thrilled when you hear and see what we're playing. We're playing songs that have not been performed since 1983, and we're also going to be playing songs that we're going to be reinventing as well. You'll get all the hits on the tour, and of course we're getting ready for the Billy Idol Arena tour, the roadside tour, which is UK only for me. It's busy, but it's fun, and I've been appearing on a radio soap, but more about that soon. Now, Craig Astley, my very brilliant web manager and archive manager, has asked me to mention to you, because everything, the orders on Anthem and the vinyl, all of that crashed the Cherry Red order site when we announced it. But we need you to know all of the stock of the signed postcards when pre-ordering Anthem on the gold LP or the CD set are now sold out. But, however, all of the copies of the big Anthem box set do contain 12 by 12 inch print signed by me, and I can show you this. So every copy of the box set contains that, and it's really beautiful. Not only does it contain that, it has this most fantastic picture disc and very special new releases in it as well. So that's not a limited edition print. It actually goes with all of the box set copies. Now, anyone pre-ordering any format already or yet to pre-order will be entered into a competition to win the Anthem Autumn Tour stage backdrop. So this is the stage backdrop, and obviously we're making a much bigger version to go on stages on the tour, so you'll be entered in the competition to win the actual stage backdrop. You can now stream the remastered version of Sphinx on Spotify as a preview for the forthcoming Anthem releases. You just search for Toyah, or you look for the link on my social media channels. Also, we're getting ready for the release of Slave to the Rhythm on the 5th of August digitally, so look out for that as well. And going live with this song, it's just going down tremendously. People are absolutely loving it. So this week, I am going to be giving a reaction to a piece of music and a concert that took part in Paris in November 1981, not long before the legendary Drury Lane Christmas Eve concert on Old Grey Whistle Test. Now, I have not looked at this ever. I remember the concert in Paris because we had it was a theatre, it was a seated audience, it was massive, but also the audience were incredibly respectful and were watching and listening, and very, very different to the UK audience, which generally were a pop audience going hysterical and singing the words back at me and storming the stage. This was different. This was an audience that were listening to me and looking at me as purely a musician. And I think because of that, there's a maturity about this performance. And really, I had to do a lot of growing up and had so much life experience in 1981. I went from being relatively unknown to one of the most known faces in Europe at this time. And this is a real lovely passage into kind of being a more kind of grounded an adult human being. And the song is Masai Boy, and by this time we have Simon Phillips on drums. Nigel Glocker left in the autumn of 1981 to join Saxon, who he still works with. We have Phil Spaulding on bass, Joel Bogan on guitar, and Adrian Lee on keyboards. So let's have a look at this. It's very atmospheric, very beautiful, and the band are just incredible. Simon Phillips was such an addition to the band. So again, I'm wearing a Melissa Kaplan kind of bib skirt, and I've got leggings on, ankle boots on. But the top, I believe, was made by a new designer, and I can't remember who. And I've got the Dexter Brown armor on my arms from the Thunder in the Mountains video. I'm playing, I've got shakers in my hands, thigh boots on, which were my kind of standard uniform back then. Now this song started in my apartment in Hendon, where I had a keyboard, and when we were writing Anthem, and I was the last person to add the additions to Anthem, which were the lyrics and the top line melodies and the backing vocals, excuse the drilling, I had a keyboard in my apartment and we needed some extra material, and I started to work at the keyboard on very simple three chord songs. Now I started off this song in F minor, G minor and A minor, and I wanted it to be like a chant of being outside, off grid, let's say, even though you didn't have to be off grid back then, but just in a very natural environment. And I was totally in love with the Masai tradition and the Masai tribes of Africa, in how that they had rites of passage into adulthood. And once a male in the tribe had gone off into the woods with nothing but a spear and remained isolated, killed a boar and then blooded himself and came back, he could then choose a wife from the tribe. Now all this happened when they were relatively young. I think it was about 13, 14. And just this, the purity of who and what they did, how they lived with the land, how they worked with the land, how they maintained the land, got their food, how they recognized the cycle of the sun. It's all about the human race living with nature for me. So here we are watching this performance, and it's a celebration of the power of the human body, working with gravity, working with the cycle of the moon and the sun, and fighting to survive in pure recognition of how the Maasai tribe survived. And this is fantastic because we got Joel chanting at the microphone, Phil chanting at the microphone, Adrian Lee and Phil Spaulding on bass. I love this. We've got to repeat this in the autumn tour. And it's all about keeping the heart going, just pushing yourself further, pushing yourself beyond your boundaries. And this performance is magnificent because it's absolutely doing that. And then it comes down, and it comes down with the sun coming down, and calm falls, and there's celebration. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love it. And it is purely and instinctively a celebration of this incredible culture, and how they inspired me to be tenacious, to never give up, to push beyond what you think are your own boundaries. They did it for survival, and in a way, for me, I kind of did it to survive a very tough industry. And I'm just so grateful to everything I learned and what I was able to learn about the Masai back then, because they didn't feature hugely on TV, but you did have them in books. You had wonderful kind of photos about them and everything like that. And this is purely a celebration again about the cycles they recognized within nature and how utterly physically magnificent they were. So I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed seeing that. That was incredible. We're only 2 weeks off the release of Slave to the Rhythm, which I was the original singer on the demo. It was written, it started its life with Simon Darlow writing the song, sending it to Frankie Goes to Hollywood. They didn't quite want to do it. Trevor Horn took it on, reworked the song with Simon and another writer, and then it ended up with the iconic Grace Jones and the iconic version. But we were very flattered when Trevor Horn contacted us 2 weeks ago and said he loved the version. He must have seen the performance at the Isle of Wight on film, and he saw the video we shot in this kitchen, and he said he really, really loved it. Would all three of us go and work with him on his new German album? And that's what we've been up to. It remains an exciting time, so everyone look after yourself. Tonight we have a fun Objects of Desire, and Sunday lunch tomorrow is even more fun. It's a celebration of really, really heavy grunge rock. We will see you out there soon, and lots of love from me, Toyah. Mwah.
Warrior, you're a Masai, Africa, 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 Sweet oh, Masai Boy, spare your joy. Oh, Masai war boy, manhood, you must kill the boy. Be a warrior, as your elders before. Page right.